Hello, everybody. It is a pleasure to see you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, as I know people are from different parts of the world. So we appreciate your time to come and join and learn more about the campus spotlight of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm very excited about this webinar because I know most of the time we focus a lot on the programs, which is important, but I think one thing that a lot of students don't understand and do not appreciate or know much about it is all the extra stuff that universities and RPI can offer you as a student to be successful. Take advantage of all the opportunities that the environment at the university can offer you as a student while you're studying, that you can take with you and become a better person and a better professional in the future. So I'm really, really excited. We're going to talk about this part of your student journey. A little bit about me, just to let you know who I am. My name is Blerina Polovina. I'm the Associate Vice President of International Recruitment and U.S. Partnerships at InUni Global. I have started with InUni Global about 7 months ago. Prior to that, I've been working at American universities for about 17 years. And my journey started way before then because I came to the country as an international student. So I'm passionate about everything that we universities offer to U.S. students to be successful. Opportunities. I always used to say to my students, when you come to a university, especially in US, you give 100% in classroom and out of the classroom, because when you give 100% on both these areas, you will be as successful and a lot more successful than other students who really do not get engaged and take advantage of the resources and the opportunities. So I am excited. Thank you for joining us. And now I'd like to introduce you to our distinguished guests right now that are giving their time to let you know what those resources are, how to take advantage of it. But before we do so, I just want to give some housekeeping rules. You know that this webinar is being recorded, and we will share a link of it when we're done. If you have any questions, please use the question option into the webinar, and our speakers will try their best to answer as many questions as they can. Otherwise, if we do not come up to your question, please know that we will follow up with an email to let you know what those answers are. But just use that Q&A spot anytime you have questions, and we will get to it at the end of this webinar. But for now, first, I'd like to introduce Dr. Linda Holt. She's the Director of Recruitment and Partnerships at the Lowry School of Management at RPI. She runs the office where connects students with opportunities and resources to make you as successful as you can when you come to RPI. Dr. Holt, would you like to say some words before we start?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Valerina. Really excited to be here today. Really excited to tell people a little bit about the story of RPI and some of our physical spaces, and to walk you through what we have here to offer. So very excited to be here.
Fantastic. And the other guest that we have here is actually a current student who's currently starting the Master of Science in Quantitative Finance and Risk Analytics, Lena Wang, because nobody can say it better than a student who's experiencing it. And we are very excited that Lena is here with us. Lena, you want to say hello to everybody?
Yeah, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and maybe good evening to everybody. I'm excited to be here, and hopefully I can provide you some insights from students' aspects.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. And with that, I will pass the baton to Dr. Holt to start the presentation.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Good day, everybody. All right. I'm bringing up my notes as well. So I'm going to walk you through some of the physical spaces that are here at RPI, or Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. We call it RPI, and most people do. We have a really special campus, so I'm happy to be able to introduce everyone to it. And established in 1824, RPI is actually 200 years old. A couple of years ago, we celebrated our 200th centennial, and really excited. It was a great opportunity for us to come together as community and really enjoy what RPI brings to the technological research areas, and also to the world. So we are, as RPI, one of the oldest technological research universities in the United States. We were the first, studying civil engineering mostly while the country was building the Erie Canal. That's how RPI really started. And I'm not going to go through the whole story of RPI from its history, but it's important to know we've been here a long time and we take our work here very seriously. So we've been recognized globally for pioneering innovation and academic excellence. It is a tough school, as Lena will tell you later. Academically, it is superior. So we are dedicated to shaping leaders who solve global challenges through technology and innovation. And we have a beautiful campus with really strong regional and international connectivity. So this is called the approach, the Lewis Rubin Memorial Approach. These are the stairs. You're at the bottom of them, looking at this picture. And you're looking up the hill towards the Carnegie Building, which is right next to the Pittsburgh Building, where I'm sitting right now. And the approach is really the entree onto campus from the city of Troy. The city of Troy sits in the Hudson River Valley, and RPI is on a hill above the Hudson River Valley. And so really, this provides beautiful sunsets and beautiful views from the campus itself because we're up on a hill. The main campus is about 276 acres in total. That's where we're currently sitting now. And it's centrally located with access to New York City, Boston, and Montreal, as well as Syracuse. We're about 3 hours from each of those cities. And we have great train service down to New York City as well. This area offers a large range of recreational and cultural opportunities. There's nearby mountains for hiking. We're really near the Adirondacks if you're into camping and getting outside and taking hikes. But also we have river valleys. We have a lot of ponds and lakes and a lot of nearby parks. And there's lots of skiing. And then there's also performance venues like the Troy Music City Hall and Saratoga Performing Arts Center. And we have some other areas as well that we're not going to get into detail on, but we have a 1,250 acre technology park that's about 20 minutes away from main campus. We have the Daring Freshwater Institute on Lake George, a very large lake to the north of us. We have the Center for Architecture, Science, and Ecology in New York City. We have the Institute for Energy and the Built Environment and Smart Systems. And also we have what's called CEPM, which is the Center for Engineering and Precision Medicine, which is in conjunction with Mount Sinai in New York City. All right, next slide. All right, so this is our main home. This is the Pittsburgh building. And at RPI, you don't usually stay in just one building. You do move from building to building for different classes. So you get up and down the campus, really work on your stair building capability because there's lots of stairs. We are on a hill. And so there's a lot of stairs or hills to walk up as you have your day. So you might start in one of our tech-enabled classrooms here in the Pittsburgh building, and then move into a team discussion space and then head into a lab or a computing center to work on what you just learned. Learning here tends to be incredibly hands-on, very collaborative, and focused on solving real problems. That is one of the hallmarks of talking to students that I hear in my role as a recruiter, but also talking to a lot of our alumni, is that RPI teaches you how to break down a problem and really learn how to solve it. And so that is one of the hallmarks of something that we really work on here in Pittsburgh and in the Lally School of Management. So this building is the main home of management. Oops, sorry, just a second. And the Pittsburgh building. This building was completed in 1912 and was actually a museum of sorts before it became an administration building. In 1998, a major gift was given by Ken and Thelma Lally, hence the Lally School, and this building was transformed into the business school. Another renovation just happened last summer in 2025, and we added in more lab space, student study spaces, a Bloomberg lab, and also a computer behavior lab. So this building has been almost totally retrofitted and is modern in nature and beautiful. All right, now we can go to the next one. All right, on your left is the Green Building. The Green Building is home to our School of Architecture and was completed in 1931. So a lot of the buildings you're going to see here are vintage in nature and a little bit older, but it is really much more of a traditional New England type campus with brick buildings, and it is beautiful. The Green Building sits on the main quad up top. It's higher on the hill than we are, and is entirely filled by the School of Architecture and their classrooms, their offices, and their extensive lab spaces. The next photo next to it on the right is the Johnson Engineering Center. This building's a little bit newer, opened in 1977. It is interesting that the groundbreaking for this building was actually happened with a timed explosion underground. The timer was triggered by a long distance phone call from a Margaret Johnson, hence the name, the Johnson Engineering Center, and she was in Dallas, Texas. And so she called to Troy, and then they set off this underground explosion to actually do the groundbreaking for this building. So that's part of the history of Johnson Engineering Center. Our engineering programs are held here in Johnson, as you can imagine. Next slide. This is also another really interesting building on campus. This is the Voorhees Computing Center, and you might be looking at it and seeing it looks religious, and it is. The Voorhees Computing Center is one of the more colorful stories on campus, as you can tell from the windows. Voorhees, it used to be a chapel for the Little Sisters of St. Joseph. They built it in 1933. They had their seminary here on what is now our campus, and RPI acquired that in 1958. And it was originally renovated to hold our library. And while our library, the Folsom Library, we're going to see in a couple minutes, was actually finished. When the library, which is across the street from it, or across a walkway, basically was finished, Voorhees was then retrofitted to become our computing center in 1979. So this was it's a large chapel. It actually had rows and rows and rows of desktops back in the day. It now houses our information technology administration arm, because we don't have those large campus computing centers anymore because they're just not necessary. But now it has basically technology administration, our computing help desk, and of course, our IBM Quantum System 1 computer, which you can see on the right. We are the only college in the Western Hemisphere that has their own Quantum 1, and we're incredibly proud of that. And students actually do get to use the Quantum 1. So you can sign up to use it. Students are able to access it and learn all about quantum computing and how that works, both from a business sense and also on the computer science and engineering side as well. All right, next slide when you're ready. This is the Russell Sage Laboratory. This is just up the hill from Pittsburgh, where we are. And the Russell Sage Lab was built with money from a gift. It was a $1 million gift back in 1909 by Mrs. Russell Sage. I don't know what Mrs. Russell Sage's first name was, but I wish I did. But Mrs. Russell Sage gave the money because her husband, Mr. Russell Sage, had been a trustee of RPI for many, many years. And when he passed away, she gave us this gift. As I said, the building opened in 1909. It's had a number of additions and changes, and it was finally completed in 1923. It's undergone many iterations. A lot of departments and offices have moved in and out of Russell Sage Lab, but it now houses our School of Humanities and Social Sciences, and there's a lot of classrooms and office spaces in this building. It's something of a maze. I've been in there and I got very lost, but it is a place where there's a lot of things happening in this building. All right, next slide. As you look, this one is much more modern. This is called CBIS, or the Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies. This is where we have a lot of our labs, studios, and computing spaces. This is where our biomedical engineering, life science research, and really that data-driven health innovation takes place. It was built in 2004. This houses really a community of world-class researchers utilizing most advanced facilities and infrastructure to conduct really groundbreaking and biotechnology-based research, and also workforce development in the biotech area. This houses a lot of our wet labs and a lot of secure spaces for some of the research that's happening in biotechnology. All right, next slide. We're going back to a little bit of the 60s again. This is the Materials Research Center. This is where we do our semiconductor and nanomaterial development. This was built with funds from NASA back in 1962, and it was really to house interdisciplinary activities in space-related sciences and technology. And RPI at the time was really making a lot of substantial contributions to the National Space Program, and we still do with our famous Aerospace Technology Program. This houses over 25 labs. It was designed in part by faculty, and it provides facilities for powder metallurgy, polymers, ceramics, ultrasonics, cryogenics, corrosion, and other materials research related to space and aerotechnology. All right, next slide. This isn't a building in itself, but it's a very important area of RPI. This is our Center for Computational Innovation, and this is our classical computing. So this is the picture you're seeing is AMOS, A-M-O-S. This is our supercomputer. It's an IBM supercomputer that also students get access to. But the CCI really looks to solve problems for next generation researchers through the use of massive parallel computation and data analytics. This center supports researchers, faculty, and students from a diverse spectrum of disciplines. And also, we have a lot of industry collaborators like IBM, Boeing, Global Foundries, Intel, and Xerox, microcomputing, and other places. A central feature of the CCI is our AMOS, A-I-M-O-S, sorry, I said that wrong. It's the Artificial Intelligence Multiprocessing Optimized System, or basically our supercomputer. And it's configured to enable users to explore new AI applications on campus. All right. I think Lena's going to take over from, oh, no, this is our lighting center, sorry. For more than 20 years, the LRC, or the Lighting Research Center, has worked to advance global LED lighting transformation through research and how lighting really affects people's day-to-day and life. Today, we're helping lighting industries move forward to the next revolution, adding value to LED lighting through 3D printing and bringing advanced energy-efficient lighting to aviation and other applications. All right, we're done with that part of the tour, and we're going to move on to student life.
Okay, thank you, Linda. So Linda just described the campus buildings overall very professionally from faculty's aspect. I'm a student, so I'll introduce you to the student life and our communities on the campus and what is going around the campus, and also some kind of suggestions around the campus. So this picture you're seeing here is from our student union. Um, and you can see that people are sitting here doing their works, or you can just even do chattings with your friends. And there's also a little place you can grab some food, and this is photo is showing on the second floor. So downstairs, there's a first floor, which contains our student accessory shops, all kinds of foods you can buy over there. So if you are getting tedious of the food in the dining halls in Sage or the Commons room, then you can just go here and grab some poke bowls or fries or anything you can imagine. And there's a convenience shop which you can get daily diaries like um, milk or egg or snacks and even ice creams. And also on the third floor is where usually our club and people, communities on the campus are holding their meetings or weekly greetings on. And sometimes during Wednesdays, they're going to hold like events, like paintings or drawings, like, and also sometimes they're going to do tattoos like the draw painting tattoos that you can wash it anywhere. And can you go to the next slide, please? Oh, this is the place that I spend most of my time on. I see that in the chat there are people asking, hey, where is probably the student typically love to go to and spend their most of the time on? I would say this place for me because this is the library that you can find your own self-study rooms. And also as a master student, I'm currently applying for jobs, which cost me that I need a time and a specific quiet room for interviews and writing exams. So this Folsom library, you can schedule online and say, hey, this time spot, I want to have a 1 hour or 30 minutes spot for my individual interviews. Then they will give you the key to the room and you can have that room all for yourself. Next, please. Yes. This This is where the Mueller Center is, and it is connected to another building called Armory. So this is where students go to the gym, and there's also a swimming pool over there. So you can even swim in the winter, which I tried this year. It's super cool that you can, when you swim in the swimming pool, you can see the outside snowing and feel there's a big difference between the weather and the current temperature you're having in there. So it's a pretty cool experience from people, students from southern parts, which not a lot of snow is happening here. And also, as I said, in Wednesdays, there are a lot of events going on, and Mueller Center as well. So you can have like some snacks or coffee to go when you come stop by. Just enter the Mueller Center, and in the lobby, you can see there's small buffet over there. Oh, this is the MPAC building. I'm not sure about the historical background of it, but as far as I can tell, this is probably the most modern building and coolest building on campus so far. It has a very good view from look because it looks down to the town and as an overview. This is a place where a lot of digital media exhibitions happening, and sometimes on Saturdays there will be small concerts, and also on Christmas there are going to be Christmas concerts, which is really cool. Here is the campus dining hall. On the left, you can see the Commons dining hall, and the right is the Russell Sage dining hall. The left side has more options of food. It has Asian foods and also typical Westerns. Like you can grab some salads or hamburgers, sometimes sushis, and also there are sweets over there. The most thing that I prefer is the pasta at the behind of the scene, which it's not shown on this picture, but it is really good. A high recommendation if you come to RPI. So the Commons Dining Hall is really near to the student resident area. So usually you can just walk there within like 1 minute or 2 minutes, depends on which resident you are gonna stay in. The right side, the Sage Dining Hall, is close to DCC, which is very close to the campus. So during lunchtime, it's crowded because students who are taking classes over there, this is their easiest cut to get some food. All right, this is the place about around our campus and downtown. So, if you are very stressful about all the exams, midterms, or quizzes from your curriculum lives, then you want to have a free time in downtown. You can just head to the downtown Troy and go to these three places that I recommend. The first one is the Jacob Alejandro. This place is very good and very popular for their coffee. And the middle one is called the Whistling Kettle. You can grab some tea and have some. I think they also have coffee, but I really prefer the tea they have there. They have oolong, they have green tea, they have black tea, and all kinds of them. And also you can have some really good waffles and crepe over there. So it's a high recommendation for those who have a sweet taste. And on the right side, it's called lime leaf. I think I might be wrong, but it's probably the only Thai food place I know in downtown, which their curry is really good. A high recommendation as well. And also, it's not shown on the slides, but I also want to add that during Saturdays, there are farmers market going on in downtown. So if you want to see how the local people are doing and what they're selling from their farm, you can go check there. And there'll be like people selling flowers, which is very good. It's a good place to head out with friends and spend your weekends with. Next, please.
All right. I'm back. Thank you, Lena. And also, I've lived here in this area for most of my life, and the restaurant scene is phenomenal. There's lots of places to eat, lots of places to go, and the farmers market is what is award winning. I think it's been voted the best farmers market in New York State. So the farmers market really is great. All right, so you might be asking a few questions to yourself of why RPI? And of course, I work here. This is my job, but I really do believe in this place and the work that we're doing. So for the first reason why RPI is we have globally ranked STEM programs. We are consistently ranked around among the top engineering and technology institutions in both the US and worldwide. I'm also going to say we're also ranked in the business area as well. We just got a top ranking from the Financial Times. We're top ranked by Princeton Review and also US News and World Report. So we are really proud of the hard work that we've done to support our students and also grow our academic programs across the institution. The second part is career-ready graduates. As Lena mentioned, she's looking for a job, and we do have a lot of support for our students in the job hunt. We have several career fairs that happen both here on campus and also specifically just for our Lally students. And we really do support our students in trying to get ready and out into the market. So 95% of our graduates are employed or pursuing further studies within 6 months. That's from our undergrad area, and with an average starting salary of about $82,000. These numbers are somewhat different for our graduate students. Here in Lally, I think we're at 96% of graduates employed or moving on into a further graduate degree, mostly a PhD, within 6 months. And for our MBAs, starting salary is about $98,000. For some of our other programs, it might be a little bit higher or lower depending on what it is for some of our MS programs. We do have a really robust internship and co-op opportunities with direct access to leading employers like IBM, Amazon, Google, and Boeing through both internships, co-ops, and research partnerships with them. And talking about research, we have over 700 undergraduate research projects going on currently in AI, robotics, biotechnology, and sustainability. That's at the undergrad level. We do also have research at the grad level as well, which is happening. And those are in really diverse areas like cognitive science and lighting, robotics again, quantum computing. There's all kinds of things happening across the research area that students are able to get involved in and work on or start their own research as well as their graduate students here. I think Lena's going to talk about the international community.
Yeah. So there are a lot of international students on campus. I also see people asking in the chats about is the campus inclusive overall? I hope this can answer your question. So there are many students, as the statistics said here, 700 plus undergraduate research. Actually, around 20% of students are international. That's the correct statistics. Yes. So me myself as an international student, I'm currently studying here on campus, but I was originally from China. There are different kinds of communities for students having their interest. So for Chinese community, I think there's the club called CISA, that if that's the correct spelling. I'll type it in the message, which is CSSA. Yeah, so that's the short name for Chinese Students Club. So we will hold special events during lunar, like Chinese New Year and other different kinds of traditional festivals. Also, as far as I know, my friends who are from Africa, they also share a lot of Black students communities and their African students communities. And also there are other people from Indonesia. I know they have their club and communities as well. So overall, I don't see any kinds of discrimination or racist happening on campus. Never. I've been on campus for 2019. So it's been a long time and nothing, zero happened as far as I know. Um, and For international students, we know that visa is our most concern, and we usually do not know how to work about our F1 visa. And sometimes, if you want to go travel, if you travel outside the nation, then what should you do? You have to apply for I-20 form. Then, how do you perform those things? You go to ISSS, which is the international support for students and scholars. So they are very helpful. So definitely use them if you come to the campus. If you are something unsure, reach out to them. They are going to be very patient in explaining everything. So they have your back. Um, and so for the vibrant campus life, there are 200 plus student organization, cultural club. I think I covered it. Um, and also, there are events happening around the campus. There are movie nights, which is shown in the Union. They have a poster over there, so you can check it weekly. Also, there are Wednesdays, there are lots of events happening around. Sometimes they bring the puppies over here so you can pet them in the Mueller Center, which is a very good experience, I assure you. And about safety and support in environment. I feel really safe in the campus. So you can see here on campus, there are red columns with a red button on top. If you feel you are unsafe or anything that you want to call the public safety on campus, then you can press that red note and they're going to come to the place and help you solve things out. So it's very safe. I can even walk during night times on campus. So just just being sure that you are very safe on the campus and you can just focus on the things you are doing and your research, your interest, anything. Um, and just as I said, the public safety is I'm not sure if they are collaborating with the Chui PD, which I did not know, but I think they provide a lot of like similar supports as the police department do, which correct me if I'm wrong, okay. Um, and if you, for example, you went to playing soccer and break your leg or something, and it's impossible for you to climb up the school to campus and have classes, then you can call the public safety. They're going to take you a short drive from there, and people are very nice over here. If you lost something, go to there. Even if it's a wallet, you can just grab it back. And yeah, I think that's everything.
Yeah, I can talk just a second about public safety. I did put a link in the chat just so that people are aware of kind of the city of Troy sits below us, and then we're up on a hill. There isn't a lot of crime that happens on our campus. There is, of course, certain things like domestic violence, students in the dorms, some theft, those kinds of things. But the city of Troy and its crime, which isn't that bad, doesn't really come up the hill. So Lena, you're here on campus walking around. You probably don't see a lot of random non-student people other than faculty walking around. It doesn't tend to attract a lot of people from outside campus onto campus because we are somewhat removed, yet a part of Troy. So public safety is quite safe. There's over 400 cameras on campus, keeping an eye on things. And when we get campus safety notices, it's usually like a golf cart was stolen, and it probably was a student who stole it. So we don't get a lot of real emergencies. We will sometimes get things like, stay on campus. There was a shooting that happened down on a street, but that street is like 10 blocks from here. So it actually is a pretty safe area. All right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Elena, and I appreciate you walking us through what life on campus would feel like, because for most of the students, there'll be at least 1 year of their life just on campus. And in your case, Lena, I see it was since 2019. So I'm assuming you've enjoyed your experience so much. You're still there, which is exciting. And the point of all this of this webinar is for students to have an idea what life on campus would feel like. And before we open up to the Q&A, and I see quite a lot of questions, we will play a video so students and partners who are listening to us have an understanding and a feeling what the campus life feels like. So when students can see themselves walking in there, and for our partners to give students an idea of what life on campus is. So we will play the video, and then after that, we will open it to Q&A. But enjoy the video for now.
Welcome everyone to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, or RPI. Founded in 1824, RPI is the nation's first technological research university. Students come here from around the globe to get immersed in engineering, science, technology, architecture, business, humanities, even the arts. Students find their tribe here and work alongside faculty to invent for the future and solve the world's toughest problems. Whether it's D1 hockey, a student-led club, a community service project, or a startup delivering life-changing innovations, RPI students are making a difference. Located here in historic Troy, New York, and nestled between New York City and the Adirondack Mountains, RPI is home to over 32 research centers and the first university in the world to have an IBM Quantum System 1 on its campus. I'm your host, Alex Boylan, and over the next hour, you'll meet athletes, entrepreneurs, aspiring physicians and military officers, artists, alumni, and Marty Schmidt, RPI's amazing president. Welcome to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, home of innovation, Puckman and the engineers. This is the College Tour.
Right. Thank you. And no, we're not going to keep you for an hour to play that video. So whoever is interested, we will put the link of the video, and it's right there, so you can watch the full video. But right now, I'm going to open it up to the Q&A just because I see quite a lot of questions coming in. Dr. Holt and Lena, wherever you feel you can answer, please feel free to just jump in. The first question is, what do students typically love most about the campus when they arrive?
Lena, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so as I said before, when we see the Folsom Library, I think that is the part where I prefer to go to because you can just find a place over there and do whatever you want because there will be like individual study rooms for yourself. You can stay there from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Nobody's gonna care about you. You just focus on your little screen over there, typing, doing programming, whatever you want. So I feel this is the part where I most like. And also based on my friends, I'm an introvert person, so for those who are more extrovert, I guess the student union and the health center, the gym is probably the others would like to go to. You can meet friends over there, have your group sessions, discussions over there, and also do some workouts before you go to sleep and help you keep fit. Yeah.
And Dr. Holt, from your experience, where do students like to hang out? And I know, Lena, from what I can see, you're very study focused. That's fantastic. But on the fun stuff, where do you see some students going on that they like to hang out on campus?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely the Mueller Center and the Armory, which is the gym. I see students hanging out there quite a bit. Also, because we are a D1, we do have what's called ECAV, which is the East Athletic Village. A lot of our students are involved in athletics, even as fifth year athletes. And so athletics do take up quite a bit of time for them, and they spend a lot of time in ECAV studying. We also have a fairly, I wouldn't say robust, but we have an active Greek life. And so we do have a fair number of students that are involved in sororities and fraternities, and they are hanging out in the fraternity and sorority homes and living a more social life that way. RPI is really interesting because it's very technological. So the students that come here are really bright, very intelligent, and very academically focused. You don't come to RPI because you want an easy degree. You come to RPI because you want that rigor. So our students tend to be very focused on their academics and living their lives, but also having a good time. The club atmosphere is huge, and Lena mentioned this already. We have a lot of union-based clubs that are more focused on the entire institution. But then we also, Lally itself has a bunch of our own clubs. And so a lot of students are spending time in club activities too. Some of that is travel to New York City to go visit for, like they went yesterday to go to Deloitte and visit. I got to go on a trip to NASDAQ. So we had a lot of those kind of like field trip type things that we do with our club activities. So we do see a lot of students hanging out in this building as well now that we retrofitted it for student space. So we see students all over the place.
Love that. Love that. Absolutely. So another question that came up is what campus resources or spaces tend to have the biggest impact on their overall experience? And I know, Dr. Holt, you spoke a bit about all those resources, but knowing, and Lena, I know you and you have friends, and Dr. Holt, you work with a lot of students. Which one are the ones that will affect help students the most? And sometimes international students come in and they do not know those resources are there, or sometimes they do not know how to ask to get access to those resources.
Yeah, I can start with that. I work here in Lally, of course, and we work really closely with student services. And our student services part is very active in making sure that students feel at home, that they feel welcome here, and that they become part of the community. And so this isn't a physical space, but it's really more of a culture. The culture of Lally is to bring people together. And that club culture, as I mentioned, is incredibly important here at this institution. We've got over 200 clubs so that people can join any area that they want to do, from making dune buggies to being a women engineer to playing pickleball. And so there's all kinds of things going on to help students integrate quickly, get to know each other quickly, and also make sure that they have their people that they can rely on. Those could be friends that they've met in these clubs, or it could also be the staff that work here at RPI and are dedicated to making sure that they have someone to go to when they need it. Mental health for both our undergrads and grads is also incredibly important. And so we're all trained on mental health and how to handle when something happens or when students are in crisis. How do we help them? How do we get them the resources that they need? So the institution really takes that personal, physical, and mental health of its students very seriously. And so people do find their people, and we help them locate their communities and locate their friends one way or another. We get that work done.
Wonderful. Lena, do you want to add anything to it, or?
Yes, I want to add that. So, Linda talked about the RPI Mental Health Center, which I think I'm actually using that as a support during my stressful times. It's very helpful that they are going to keep your information safe with you. So if you got too stressful during your exams, you just want to calm down, you can just chat with them. They have like, I think they have a 24/7 chat area that you can talk to actual physicians. But also you can have other uh, weekly schedules with one of them to keep a longer relationship, which it doesn't have to be like you actually have a mental issue or anything. If you're just stressful, you can just talk to them, which is very helpful. Um, they're going to encourage you to have more sleep instead of staying up a whole night for reviewing for exam, which is hard to decide because I know that I want to study well, but they're gonna take care of you on your health side, so it's very helpful. Also, another thing I want to say that is because I'm a master's student, and I would assume that people who's our audience here are going to spend like 1 to 2 years, so probably finding job could be on their list. So I would suggest to check the RPI Career Center, which is downstairs on DCC. It's very, very helpful. So whenever you have interviews or you want to check your CV, you can just go there. They have a hour or a half hour time blocks. You can just check everything with there. They're going to pretend give a mock session of interviews, give you very insightful suggestions on whatever you want to ask. And also, as international students, they're going to tell you what are the differences between the job markets between your country and current here in the US. So this, I think, is the most part that I use. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I know one question that came out was, I guess, the culture of the school. And is it fair to say that bringing students together, Dr. Holt, is what you said the culture is to support the students, to get them involved, excited, and really hands-on experience will be something that students will find in and fully support it from academics all the way to mental health. So it's important for students to know it. And I think, and from my experience working with students, sometimes depending on culture, sometimes it's hard to ask for help. And it's important for students to understand that help, it's not, asking for help does not mean you're weak. Asking for help means that you're understanding you need somebody to support you and to know that you have that support system in RPI. It's really, really wonderful to know. And I hope more students take advantage of that.
Yeah,
Which
and
I
it is
know.
very well advertised as well. We have signs up all over. We have, systems in place to help people. So it's very
Fantastic.
accessible as well. Yeah.
Yes, and I just hope students and our partners here understand that they are there to support them. There's because sometimes students, when I remember Dr. Hall, when I used to work with students, they'll feel like if I ask for help, you think I'm not good enough to, or maybe you wonder if I'll be successful, and that never has been the case. And I want
Mhm.
students to understand that the resources and the support that RPI offers to the students is to help them be better and be healthy so they can take advantage of all the things that they're doing. So
Mhm.
thank you. I think this is an exciting place. I know, Lena, you said you're from China. So one questions I have right now is there an authentic Chinese restaurant around the area? Because food is food. Sometimes when you miss home, you want to just go and try that food that will make you feel like you're close to home, and nothing does it better than food.
I like that question. Thanks for bringing it up. Um, I sent a restaurant name. It's called Red and Blue. It's very authentic Sichuan food. So you can go there and order something from home taste, I guess. If you're from
Yeah.
Sichuan, you definitely love the place. Um, so other Chinese authentic cuisine on around the campus and downtown, let me think. That is probably the one that I say it's within walking distance. But if you take a Uber or if you want to buy a car here or just take a ride with a colleague, then you can go to Albany. They have more food. I'm not sure the name of the restaurant, but in Chinese it's called Yuting, which is also really
Okay.
good. It has Hong Kong style food, has a lot of dim sum over there. So it's also a good place to go. And
Wonderful.
yeah, since we're talking about Albany, I would suggest that there are also a lot of activities over there. So especially during winter, you can go to the Empire State's Plaza, I think that's the name. They have the ice ring, so you can go for some fun over there as well. But yeah, I usually cook
Wonderful.
myself, so probably I don't know that much about restaurants, to be honest. I'm sorry about that, but Red and Blue is definitely a to
So is
go.
it fair to say then if a student from China comes along, we'll tell them, hey, you miss food, go to Lena, she'll cook for you. I'm joking.
Yeah, I can.
No, I won't give your
But
name unless you offer it, but
yeah, yeah. But I think like because there are all different kinds of students on campus, and because I'm a Chinese student doesn't mean that all Chinese students are like me. But we do have this group chats. You can easily find your friends or people
oh,
share the
wonderful.
same interest with you. So if you come here as a Chinese student, you can go to the WeChat group and just shoot a message in the group chat. There'll be
Oh,
like
that's fantastic.
200 or 300 people answering your questions.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know we're talking about food, Lena. I think the other question was, are affordable food options around the area? Because when you think of New York, and of course, the students are preparing to study. Part of it is cost of living, right? So they're trying. So price-wise, how would you say the food will be around the area that RPI is at?
Is the question when you say the question is it like affordable, you
Yeah,
said?
pretty much.
Oh, okay,
And
okay, okay.
like usually,
Yeah.
and for
Mm,
the when they go out, I mean, it's one question is it food? Yeah, it's the affordable food options. Like how affordable
okay.
you think it is.
Um, I would say if you are actually craving for some specific food, you can try the option of Uber Eats, which I don't suggest. It's like twice the price you're gonna
What's the
get, or
price?
even more. Yeah, because they're gonna add you a lot of service fees and tips, which I understand it's the culture here, but as international student and Asian student, I would say it's not my choice. So I said that I cook myself. So usually I spend like on food, on groceries. It's like about at most $200 like per month, sometimes
Oh,
300,
okay,
depends on the food that
okay,
I buy and cook. Um, so it's not that bad if you cook yourself.
okay,
Um, and other options are on campus. I think the food on campus are overall really healthy and good. Um, and as graduate student, I'm not sure if they still held this, but last year I think they have the graduate student meal plan, which is a little bit cheaper than the undergraduate plan. So if any of you, Linda, if you know that, you can share some information because I think faculty also share this benefit as well.
okay.
Yeah. So I think overall, just don't go to Uber Eats.
Okay, got it. No Uber Eats, do your own cooking, maybe walk down close by for a restaurant once
Yeah,
a week,
yeah,
but
yeah.
um meal plans though
Yeah.
are built in from what I can tell within when you register and you live on campus. So pretty much you kind of prepped yourself into the cost when you live on campus. Wonderful.
You can
Um,
get a campus meal plan if you choose to, but because most of our graduate students all of our graduate students are living off campus, many of them do
I
choose to
see.
cook, as Lena said. Lena, if I can ask a question of how do you get your groceries? Do you order them and they deliver, or do you go to the grocery store?
That's a good question. So I have a Target Circle membership.
Mhm.
So I usually order groceries from Target, and and because I have a lot of friends over here, whenever they go to groceries, they'll write me. But like I last year I got a car, so I sometimes just drive there. Um, so that'll save a lot of the fees unnecessary. But I think you can get some essential groceries like breakfast. I think mainly breakfast on campus. I think the store's name is Father's under the uni on the first
Yes.
floor. You can even get eggs. Um, if you live on campus, I'm not sure if you can cook there. I remember there's a small cooking area in Sharp Hall. But I think you can just go to the dining hall maybe, and then they have open like kitchen for you, and you can borrow that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. I know we only have 5 minutes, and I think we have more questions than we have time. So I'm going to start maybe picking a couple. I know, Len, I have quite a few questions are to you, but one thing, and just to be short, when you're an international student, you come in, how was your adjustment initially when you went to RPI, and what helped you get out of the comfort zone, as I would say, and make friends? Because sometimes it's easy to find your people, like Dr. Hall said, but sometimes finding your people, you kind of be what's familiar, but to expand yourself to more than just and making more friends. What tips would you give a new student coming in and they come in the first semester at RPI? And of course, you come into a whole different country, a different culture. How was your adjustment, and how would you recommend they start making new friends?
Um, I would say forget all the biases you learned from all kinds of news. It doesn't have to be your country's news or even like US news. Just forget about the biases. Um, because students on campus are overall very good and already very educated, and all the faculty members around you are very supportive. So you do not have to be um, feeling that I should I should keep my distance from them. So have an open heart is my suggestion. See and understand with your own eyes. When I come here, I definitely heard a lot of bad stories about the securities and all kinds of ethnicity biases from all kinds of news, US news, Chinese news, all kinds of other news. But don't bring them on campus because overall on campus, everybody is very friendly. Talk to them and you'll see they are very good people. Um, you come to RPI from this long way, long journey, and all the others went through the same process as you did. They also have the same question you have. Is this person trustable? Can I talk to him or her with a very friendly environment? How long can our friendship last? It's the same question you share. So you all are on the same page. So don't be afraid, just reach out.
Love that. Thank you so much, Lena. And Dr. Holt, I will just finish because the time I will just ask you one question because you know you are at the office where you connect opportunities and
Mhm.
resources to students. And at the end of the day, you do an education because you have career outcomes. How do you support students with connecting them with these opportunities? What do you recommend students take advantage while they're prepping into the campus so they are ready once they graduate or really during their studies to go out there into the professional world, make the connections, and then leap into the professional world once they graduate from the program?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And so there's multiple ways that they should and can do that. The first is with their faculty. Make sure they get to know their faculty well and they're working with them, particularly around if they're having any issues in the classroom, work with your faculty to work through them because you don't want to get behind. But also working with your faculty is a way for you to build that connection and build your network with someone who's in the academic area that you're studying, and they usually know people. The other piece of it is to work through the club structure that we have or our student support structure to get to know what's going on in that market. For example, we have the Rensselaer Finance Club that works really closely with alumni to bring in alumni to talk about what careers are in finance and how to get careers in finance and how to really kind of work that through. So that club structure does more than just help them on the social side. It helps them also on the career side because they do a lot of career prep through the club structure, specifically here in Lally. And the other part is, Lena mentioned our CCPD, which is the Center for Careers and I don't know what CCPD means, but anyway, they're wonderful people. They work incredibly hard to help students professionalize their resume, go through mock interviews, set up internships, set up other opportunities to get in front of employers, and also how to work through some of those problems they might have in helping to explain their experience and how that would work in the real world, in the work world. And so they're experts at helping to bridge that academic to lifestyle. And those are kind of the three that I would start with. But really, I've learned in my career in higher education, the harder the student works at finding a job, the better they are at finding a job. And so it really is a big responsibility from both the institutional side and from the student side, us working together to help find that really great opportunity for the student.
I totally agree with that, Dr. Holt. I
Mhm.
remember, and I think one thing international students don't understand is the importance of the faculty connection. And
Yes.
think sometimes when you think about an international world, a lot of the time you're sitting in a classroom and the professor is talking and you never have that connection, which is completely
Mhm.
different in US, where faculty really looks for that connection. And I appreciate that very much. I always say I heard a statement once that says opportunity comes to the ones that are willing to dance and to
Yeah.
show up and dance. So yeah, so I tell students schools can give you everything, but if you do not show up and take advantage of those opportunities, then unfortunately you will lose into that. So I appreciate it. I know our time is up. We will answer the other questions. We will follow up with an email. But if there's one message you want to leave with students with, what would it be, Dr. Holt and Lena, when they come in?
Absolutely. Yeah, I hope we've shown kind of the breadth of RPI, the home of RPI, and really the reasons why people may want to come here outside of the academics. We know those are excellent, but it really is a very welcoming, safe community. We help students kind of navigate this scary part of coming to the US and working here and studying here. And so I hope we've really shared that the freedom that we give people academically, but also that safe support system that we have for them personally.
Wonderful. And Elena, anything you want to tell them as a student who's, as I said, it's clear you've enjoyed your experience because you've been there since 2019. What do you want to leave everybody with for somebody, a student who's exploring getting to apply to our RPI or getting ready to go through that visa interview and then what to expect once they come? If there's a message that you want to share them to just give them a bit of peace of mind and to just get them excited for the next stage.
As a student or upcoming student, I think do not be afraid when you choose RPI because it's definitely a very, very inclusive option you can have based on my experience and communication with my friends from other schools. Like the safety issues never happen, but there are always help there if anything just happened. Studies, I think RPI is the most, is the best environment for studies. So if you like study, come here, definitely. Club events, we're not that very, like club events happening a lot, but if you have your interest, you definitely can find your cohort on campus. So yeah, just welcome to RPI.
Yay, I love that. So do not be afraid. Leave your biases home. Be open and take advantage of other resources and the opportunities that RPI offers. Will it be maybe the summary of what we all spoke about? All
Yeah.
right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody. First of all, thank you, Dr. Holt and Lena. I enjoyed this conversation, and I'm getting excited. I do hope to come to campus to explore some of that and just to say hello to you in person. So, but thank you, everybody. I hope you found this information helpful. For the questions we were not able to answer, we will follow up with you with an email. But I wish everybody a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and we hope to see you at RPI. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Clarina.